Hello, my name is Florence and I'm from the University Malaysia, Sarawak. Today I will present our study on perceptions of Bidayuh on importance of the Bidayuh language. First, let me explain the context of the study. Malaysia consists of West Malaysia or Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia, which is situated on the island of Borneo. There are about 134 established languages in Malaysia, of which 112 are indigenous languages. Sarawak has at least 25 different ethnic groups. And Bidayuh, which means people of the hinterland, and previously known as Land Dayaks, are the second largest indigenous group in Sarawak with a total population of 217,800 speakers. Bidayuh are mostly found in areas covering Kuching and Samarahan divisions, which are located at the westernmost end of Sarawak. The Bidayuh language belongs to the Austronesian language family. Bidayuh is well known for having many varieties, and some of these varieties are mutually unintelligible among speakers from different areas. Studies have found that the Bidayuh language is showing signs of gradual shift because of urban migration, education, and mixed marriage. Many Bidayuh parents have reported that they do not speak the language with their children at home. Bidayuh children speak standard or dominant languages such as Malay, English, and Iban. Bidayuh language has been rated the most important ethnic marker, and Bidayuh have generally positive attitudes towards their language. However, while there is institutional support for Bidayuh in the form of a shared slot in the local radio station, the Bidayuh language is still not widely used in the media or education. Further, while education level may influence language attitudes, there was no relationship between language attitudes and language usage for the Iban language, and so far no findings on that for Bidayuh language. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to examine perceptions of Bidayuh community in Sarawak, Malaysia, on the importance of the Bidayuh language, specifically on the aspects of their reasons for the importance of the Bidayuh language and the connotative associations of the language. The study was a descriptive study involving 61 participants consisting Bidayuh family, friends, and contacts of the first researcher. The instrument used was online questionnaire with 5 sections, namely demographic information, proficiency in Bidayuh, frequency of Bidayuh usage, language use in 9 domains, and importance of the Bidayuh language, and connotative associations of the Bidayuh language, which were rated on a 5-point Likert scale. Most of the participants were in their 30s and 40s, and so they had their primary and secondary education in the Malay language because it was during their time that the medium of instruction was changed from English to Malay. Most of the participants were highly educated because they had a degree or higher. Most of them were Christians, and most of them spoke the Bau and Biata Bidayuh language varieties. And now we've come to the results and discussion part of the study. First, proficiency in Bidayuh. It can be concluded that the participants had acceptable receptive skills but lacked productive skills in Bidayuh. This is because while most of them said they were fluent and competent in Bidayuh, 14.75% said they were not able to communicate effectively despite being able to understand a lot of what is being said. In fact, only 16.39% were able to speak clearly and effectively in Bidayuh, even on complex topics. 19.67% could only speak a few words in Bidayuh. That is why some researchers suggested that the decline in the ability to use the language will make the Bidayuh language a threatened language in the long term. Next, frequency of using Bidayuh. Most of the participants, that is 67.21%, said they use Bidayuh almost every day, but 18.03% said they did not use the language at all in a week. Although the participants had acceptable receptive skills in Bidayuh, 70.49% said they did not listen to Bidayuh radio programs at all in a week. This might explain why listening to Bidayuh radio programs and songs was ranked last ethnic marker in a previous study. This study also examined Bidayuh language use in 9 domains, namely at home or family domain, with neighbors, in school, in religious places, in the mass media, represented by reading newspapers and listening to the radio, in the friendship domain, represented by in social media communication and with friends, when buying things, with colleagues, and at government departments. The results on language use in the 9 domains show that there are 4 frequently used languages, namely Sarawak Malay, English, Bidayuh, and Iban. Sarawak Malay is a dialect of the Standard Malay, and it is used mostly in the mass media domain, the friendship domain, and in religious places, which is, in this case, in church. The most diverse language use is with neighbors, whereby 26.23% use English, 22.95% use Sarawak Malay and Bidayuh respectively, and 21.31% use Iban language. While Bidayuh is still the most frequently used language in the family domain at 45.90%, English is very close at 32.79%. Sarawak Malay is also used at 14.95%. This shows that educated and urban Bidayuh tend to use other dominant languages. Next, reasons for the importance of Bidayuh language. The most important reason is as an ethnic marker to show that there are Bidayuh. This echoes the findings of past study in which the Bidayuh language was ranked number 1 ethnic marker. The second important reason is to get closer to other Bidayuh people. Indeed, the Bidayuh people have been observed as a cohesive society with close-knit social network. Next, the Bidayuh language is important because of institutional support provided by governmental as well as non-governmental agencies, although the language is not yet taught in school. The next reason is the social status of Bidayuh speakers, in that there are many educated Bidayuh and Bidayuh leaders, but not because of wealth. Finally, the Bidayuh language is important due to perceived Bidayuh population size, although it accounts for only 8% of Sarawak population. From this table, we can see that the most important reason is for ethnic identity, and the least important reason is to get jobs. Finally, connotative associations of Bidayuh language. The participants perceive that the Bidayuh language is prestigious because it is looked after by governmental as well as non-governmental agencies. They also perceive it to be suitable for formal use because there are many educated Bidayuh speakers and leaders. The finding that they believe the Bidayuh language is not a language spoken by rural or old people is promising for intergenerational transmission of the Bidayuh language to the younger generation in urban areas. The mean score for each connotative association is presented in this table. From the findings of the study, we can conclude that urban and educated Bidayuh have generally good proficiency in Bidayuh language and positive attitudes towards Bidayuh language. Bidayuh language is most frequently used only in the family domain, whereas Sarawak Malay is most frequently used in 4 other domains, namely school, religious places, mass media, and friendship. Bidayuh language is mostly important for social cohesiveness and ethnic identity, but not for instrumental purposes. The Bidayuh people also recognize governmental and non-governmental agencies looking after their customary laws, culture, and language. The participants believe that the Bidayuh language would be stronger if it is taught in school, but there would be many implementational issues such as lack of written materials and trained teachers. In addition, their positive attitude seems to be anchored to its heritage value, but not for employment. Bidayuh is a prestigious language and an important distinctive marker of the Bidayuh identity. Further research should include longitudinal studies and case studies to address whether attributing greater importance to the Bidayuh language is linked with more fervor in using the language and transmitting it across generations. I would like to end my presentation with this remark. And a sample of Bidayuh language taken from a Bidayuh language play school. Thank you for your attention.